I just feel like any Nets account just shouldn't be speaking on basketball. Your organization is so non-existent and so imaginary at this point. You shouldn't even be partaking in anything basketball related.
Just go to Seattle. Just
Yeah.
go to Seattle,
They'll love you there. No problem.
please.
Take care.
Or Nashville. How about Nashville? Nashville,
That'd
that would
be
be
nice.
cool.
That'd be
That'd be cool.
nice. I'm with that. Works for me. That'd be great. I got an excuse, even if they suck. I got an excuse to go down there. I enjoyed Nashville a couple of years ago. I'd go back.
Yeah, I'll go back.
So winning game 4 will give the Knicks a ton of rest with the finals starting on June 3rd. But with that being said, I have some things to say about the non-Knicks fans on X/Twitter.
I'm ready.
The moving of the goalposts / double standards are the most childish garbage I've ever read on social media. The most childish shit. The Knicks playoff run is a joke. They played against weak teams in a weak conference. The West is going to mutilate them in the finals if they get there. The Knicks could blow it at any point. I can't tell if the Knicks are good or if the conference is weak. These are the things that I read. The Knicks played the Hawks. That series was deemed a tough draw. Knicks could lose in 6. Hawks were on an 18-2 run near the end of the regular season. Jalen Johnson will give the Knicks trouble. Well, Knicks beat them in 6, blew them out in game 6 by 51. What do people say? Well, the Hawks aren't the Sixers. Sixers just beat the Celtics in 7 games, down 3-1. Okay, so the Knicks face the Sixers. People are saying Sixers can beat the Knicks in 6 games. Knicks will have trouble playing VJ Edgecombe, Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, and Joel Embiid. The Knicks then go on to sweep the Sixers, win game 4 by 30, and the Sixers play better without Embiid on the court anyway. People then said, well, Embiid had a bum knee and a bad hip. Tyrese can't defend. VJ is a rookie. Knicks got lucky. They did not play the Celtics. Now this round, the Knicks are steamrolling the Cavs, make a historic comeback, and now they're 1 win away from the finals. People, of course, are saying, well, Harden and Mitchell don't defend. The Pistons would have given them a run for their money. You see the trend, Dom? You seeing the trend? It is always the prior team that got eliminated. Then why aren't the teams here to play the Knicks, then? Why aren't they here? Where are they? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the FTB podcast. I'm your host, Chris Nagulik, alongside my co-host, Dom Savino. We will be discussing the week that was. The Mets continue to look incompetent while the Yankees play 500 baseball. The Jets and Giants get ready for upcoming OTAs, but above all, the Knicks are 1 win away from the NBA Finals, a place they haven't been in 27 years. So let's just ask these questions now. Is this team fit to beat the Thunder or the Spurs? And is this the best playoff team the Knicks have ever had? We will be answering those captivating questions in a bit, but first, do me a favor, take a seat.
Let's talk.
Dom, weather's looking better, but I got to tell you, a pretty dreary weekend we just had here up in New York. A lot of rain,
Very bad.
not a lot of sun. Sun's peeking out a little bit, but I'm seeing a lot more clouds than sun right now. My weekend was pretty bland, to be honest. I did a golf simulator on Saturday, and that's really it. Watched the Knicks trounce the Cavs for Game 3 to take a 3-0 series lead. But other than that, I got nothing else for you. How was your weekend?
I mean, with my job being weather dependent, it sucks just because, not a lot of people came to the beach, obviously, and just very slow weekend. And seems like this is the third year that this has happened on Memorial Day where it just gets rained out. I don't know why that's the case, but it's very unfortunate. But you can make the most out of it and try and have your fun no matter what. And it was a good weekend for sure.
Yeah, I looked on the weather forecast before the weekend started. I saw that it was going to be mostly rain and say, you know what? Maybe it's better off I'm working a little bit because I'm not going anywhere for Memorial Day this year. And I don't know, not really much to do when it's that bad out. And the rain was coming down hard yesterday, not so much Saturday, but definitely yesterday. Shout out to everyone. Hope everyone's having a great and fantastic Memorial Day. Shout out to the people who obviously sacrificed their lives for this beautiful country, and so that me and Dom can schlep it on a podcast sitting here. So thank you to the veterans and the people who have served this great country of the USA. So just wanted to start it off with that. We're not going to waste a lot of time here. The order that we're going to go with is NBA, MLB, and NFL. You probably could have guessed it without even listening to us. The NFL is going to be quite short. Not really much to say. I know I said OTAs are coming up in the intro, but other than that, not really much else to say. But we're going to start with the NBA. And it's obviously no shock to anybody. We're going to start with the Knicks because they just look like an absolute freight train coming. And they look like a fantastic team. They're getting better and better every game. It's honestly hard to believe because they're already so good. And I just feel like they're just constantly improving every other day, the more that they play in these playoffs. But Dom, I'm going to let you go first. The Knicks are one win away from moving on to the NBA Finals.
For game one, I mean, was that the best game you've ever watched as a Knicks fan in our
Um,
lifetime?
me personally, it was the most shocking, and it was the most shocking because um, I was watching it. It got towards the end of the third quarter, and I said to myself, "Well, I love to watch all this, but somebody's got to work tomorrow, and I got to go to bed. I got to be up early. I'm not going to watch this travesty of a game." And so I went to bed. Honestly, shockingly, fell asleep in like 5 minutes. I guess I was that tired from the day. I woke up at about 3, 4 a.m., unfortunately, like I usually do. And I said, well, game's over, obviously. Might as well look at it now. I'm up. I'm looking at it now, or I'm looking at it at 7 o'clock in the morning. So 3, 4 hours isn't going to make a difference. And I look at ESPN notification. Knicks shocked the Cavaliers and erase a 22-point deficit. And as you could imagine, who's going back to sleep when they read that? And so I couldn't. And I immediately went on to YouTube and I put on the highlights on the NBA account. I'm Dom. I'm going to let you go first, but I'm going to be honest. Does Kenny Atkinson know how to call a timeout?
No, he doesn't. He and have you been seeing what he's been saying in this post game and during practice conferences?
Yeah, I have, and I'm expecting him to be fired as soon as this series is over.
Another James Harden casualty. That's what it seems like. And I was like, there's going to be a game where James Harden is played bad. It seems like it was all three of them. All three games he just not play good.
Yeah.
Um, when it came to Donovan Mitchell, was he getting his buckets? Of course he was, but it was way harder for him to get into the paint. And then he was forcing out some threes that were just very bad shots. And this is something that we expected. And other things that we expected too were, we were expecting more of just JB takeover games, which obviously in game one he did, especially in that fourth quarter and overtime. But everyone else has been eating. You know, OG Anunoby's been eating. Cat has been doing his part. There's games where, well, especially game three, where he only scored 14 points. Like, that's the thing. He doesn't have to score 30. He doesn't have to be scoring 25. And then you have Mikal Bridges, who I am the only believer. I'll say it again. I was the only believer in Mikal Bridges. I don't care what anyone says, but now look at him. Great on defense, great with switching, forcing tough shots against his opponents, and then driving to the hoop like it's nothing and making those mid-range shots. And then if you need him to make a three, he's making threes as well. And then you can't forget about Josh Hart, right? With his threes and what you've been saying. He's going to be open, and that's what he expected too. He said after game one, during his conference, he's like, I'm expected to be open yet again, and I'm going to be wide open, and I've been practicing on my shots, and I've 100% confidence in myself. And that's exactly what happened. This just proves to you how studious they are and how into it they are when it comes to these playoffs. And I just couldn't believe game one still. I mean, I didn't really watch the third quarter because I was working. But then after work, I went to my local sports bar to watch the fourth quarter. And when I walked in there, it was just pure silence. Pure silence. No one was saying a thing. Down 22, made a couple of baskets. We're okay, like, trying to hype ourselves up. And then once we were down by 10, I think everyone in that bar knew that this is so possible and this is what we do. We can come back from this, and we've done it this year when we've been down this much. So it didn't seem like a surprise to everyone, but it was just so cool to see us getting back into this game and taking the lead, and then they tied it to go into overtime. But everyone has just been playing their part. And then this morning, I read a quote, and this is sort of describing the whole year. When it comes to From the Borough and Chris and I, we've been saying for the regular season, this is not the team. Something's going on here. Why, like when Mike Brown comes in, it seems like everything's just the same. But then today he talked about expanding his rotation. And I feel like this sort of opened up, like my eyes at least, it comes to this season and especially the postseason.
Hmm.
Mike Brown explained the importance of expanding your rotation during the regular season. It's not about now, it's about the postseason. You keep guys engaged by doing that. And you do develop not just the bench, but the team as well. Guys get used to playing with other guys just in case somebody goes down. It's something I stole from Coach Bop and Steve Kerr. Very few things I come up with on my own. I've seen it work in the past, but I kind of thought that's what I wanted to do here. That sort of gives you your answer of what happened during the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
He just wanted to keep guys fresh, and he wanted everyone to be ready and to be healthy,
Mm-hmm.
and just to be healthy. And he fooled us. And like I said, this seems like this was planned. I mean, I don't know about the whole game plan thing, but when it came to the bench, this is his whole plan all along, and he stuck to it, and he never bit when people were criticizing him, especially the New York media throughout all year, and he kept his word. Now look what's going on. We're one game away from the NBA Finals, and if we win tonight, this place, especially Manhattan, it's going to lose its mind. I can't wait.
So before you continue, Dom, two things I want to say about Mike Brown. Actually, three things. First, I'm going to go all the way back to July. As folks, and respect to you folks who have been sticking around since the beginning with this podcast, our first episode, again, was June 23rd. The following week, Mike Brown got hired. Me and Dom were sitting down in our respective houses. We said we should do an emergency pod. The Knicks finally got a coach. What I said on that episode was, Mike Brown has great experience. He obviously has a lot of respect from his coaching staff, whoever he's coached with, whoever he's coached for, in terms of him being an associate head coach. But one of the two other things I'm going to say, and I'm going to mention it now while I'm saying this part right now, with him getting hired in July, Mike Brown listens more than he speaks. And what's the saying, Dom? You have 2 ears and 1 mouth. You should listen twice as much as you speak. That's what Mike Brown exhibits every day. He listens to his players, and the last thing I'll say, he shouts out his coaching staff. People may think it's not a big deal. No, it's a big fucking deal.
It is a big deal.
Who is going to say, I give credit to Chris Gent? Well, yeah, Mike Brown did a good job because Chris Gent ran the offensive. He calls Chris Gent like it's football. He calls him his offensive coordinator. I'm sorry, say what you want. There's not a lot of coaches who are doing that in a press conference. Maybe a select few on one hand. Not a lot of coaches are shouting out their coaching staff. So that goes a long way. And not only do guys want to go and get hired on your staff, they don't want to leave. Now, unfortunately, in any sport, right, baseball, basketball, football, hockey, whatever the case may be, unfortunately, coaches do get a look from other teams. So then they go and get the head coaching gig that they've been craving, their whole entire lives. So people, unfortunately, do leave, not by their own want or will, but because they're going to get paid more when they become a head coach. But those three things, Mike Brown getting hired in July, him listening to his players, and him shouting out his coaching staff, giving them the praise, and the credit for everything that's been going on, Mike Brown has this team at a close knit. And honestly, it starts to beg the question for me, Dom, what happened in Sacramento? Was it really all on Mike Brown? Was it really all his fault? Don't think so.
It's the roster.
Maybe De'Aaron Fox was part to blame. Maybe he was the problem. You can't just look at the coach. It's a two-way street. So you got to start questioning what the hell happened in Sacramento.
Was Zach LaVine there when Mike Brown was coaching?
I'd have to look it up. I don't want to just give an answer and not be knowledgeable on it. I would have to look. If I had to guess, I'm going to say no.
Even so, those players just weren't made to gel with each other. I mean, with DeMar DeRozan, and then you did have Sabonis, right? You did have Sabonis. No, you didn't have Sabonis?
No, I'm sorry. I'm shaking my head. Zach LaVine was not there when Mike Brown was the coach. I didn't think so. He did have Sabonis, yes. Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox were the juggernauts on that offense, yes.
They just didn't gel well together. And then also when it came to defense, who was really like a great defender on that team? Not really anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say it's just mostly the roster, and like you said, De'Aaron Fox created some noise. It seemed like that he was probably the main person who was really causing those problems. I mean, I'm sure it was other players too, but it was obviously look what happened with De'Aaron Fox. He wanted to get out of there. Someone who's been there for years. So something had to go wrong, and it could have been both of them. But
Mm.
I mean, Mike Brown isn't on the floor making threes, so you see how that goes.
Yeah.
But
Anything else you have to say, Dom? Continue, please.
I mean, Mikal Bridges game 1, 18 points. Mikal Bridges game 2, 19 points. And in game 3, 22 points. That's it. That's all I have to say. I don't have to say any more.
Mm. Yeah, I know.
I told you so. I told all you. I told all
Hey,
you. And
listen,
I'm running with it.
I'll give a shout out to CK2K out on Knicks Fan TV. He's been a big believer of Mikal Bridges as well. So it's not just you. There's others as well. I'll be the first to apologize to Mikal Bridges, happily so. I mean, when you watch him play in that first round against the Hawks, where he had no points, he looked like he was completely out of it, couldn't even dribble, had no handles during that time and during that game 3 loss in Atlanta. Yeah, the coach had every right, if he wanted to bench him because he wasn't playing. And I know he was getting to Mikal Bridges, and Mikal Bridges even said in a, press conference or post game presser, whichever it was, he said kudos to his teammates and his friends and family, keeping him in line and not letting him veer off and just doing things to take his mind off the game. And that's very important for guys like Mikal Bridges or frankly any basketball player who may not be as tougher skinned as others. And so kudos to him. He's played great. Am I going to say I was surprised that he turned it around? Not totally, but I'm not going to say I was not worried at all about Mikal Bridges. I definitely was, but he's obviously proved that so far he is worth the trade that the Knicks put together.
100%.
Yeah. Anything else you got to say, Don, before I start?
You're good.
Okay. I'm going to go strictly off notes here. I'm not going to try to ramble. Knicks are obviously one win away from moving on to the NBA Finals, so that's great. First time they'll be doing that since 1999, as we expressed last week. As Dom said, game 1, 115, 104 in OT, 22-point deficit, went on a 44-11 run to snatch defeat from the Cavs. Jalen Brunson went off in the fourth with under 8 minutes left, had 17 points in the fourth quarter and OT combined. Once, I'm sure I can't say me, I wasn't watching it. Whoever was watching the game, I'm sure once it got to OT, they said, yeah, the Knicks they're going to wrap this up. It's interesting. I was always told when I was playing even soccer, the team that plays the best and don't win it in regulation generally loses it in extra time and penalty kicks. And that's kind of what happened here. the Knicks for 3.5 quarters did not play good basketball at all. We don't really know what we were watching. This was not the team that we were watching in the first 2 rounds. And of course, obviously, there was very much cause for concern. They win that game. And really, from game one, Dom, you had to say to yourself, I don't see how the Cavs can come back from this. And it's interesting how it was 364 days since the Tyrese Halliburton shot that hit the back that hit the back of the rim, went all the way up to the sky, and landed in the hoop. And then fast forward 364 days, and Landry Shamet takes a bounce off the rim, off the backboard, off the rim, and in. and and of course, there was, I believe, another shot. Oh, Sam Merrill's missed shot at the end of regulation. So everything comes back around. It's a circle. So they win game one, game two. Knicks just had the Cavs on complete lockdown. They won 109-93. Josh Hart was the MVP of that game, had 26 points on 5 of 11 shooting from three. I mean, again, like I said, yes, Josh Hart's backbreaking rebounds are going to be a big factor, but his three-point shooting, like I said in the reel that I posted last week, like what he was doing in the first round of the Sixers 2 years ago, I'm sure he's been taking a lot of time out of his day in practice or whatever the case may be to work on his three-point shooting. So the game summed up the cohesiveness of the Knicks starting five in their bench play. Got to give a shout out to Landry Shamet. He's come to play, and I picked him as a sleeper pick. Everyone sees why. Big shots in game one and game three, which I'll get to here about game three in a second. And the biggest thing that I said, and there was actually a video on Twitter by Red Holtzman. Obviously, it's not, I think it was Red Holtzman or whatever. It's an account that's obviously, an alias account to the, Hall of Fame coach for the Knicks back in the 70s, Red Holtzman. He showed a video of Landry Shamet's defense. Folks, this is the reason why I wanted Landry Shamet playing every game. He was, I've never seen a guy so locked in on defense, being able to switch easily. Like it was no trouble at all. Switching off guards, switching off bigs, switching off small forwards, power forwards, didn't matter what position it was. Landry Shamet can play defense, and he can shoot. This is why I wanted Landry Shamet to play. And to think, Dom, this man was on a non-guaranteed contract in the preseason.
He had to try out for the team.
Had to try out. We didn't know if he was going to make it. Thank you, Malcolm Brogdon. People were probably confused with what I posted on the story recently. What was it, Saturday, I believe? Yeah, it was Saturday. I think it was game 3, not game 2. Yeah, it was Saturday. If you know, you know. Well, for people who don't know, Malcolm Brogdon was standing in the way of Landry Shamet's roster spot. Malcolm Brogdon woke up one morning, felt his knee hurting, said, shit, I'm old. I'm not doing this no more, and he retired. Well, that opened the door for Landry Shamet and Garrison Matthews. I guess I can give you a shout out as well, but we knew he wasn't going to make it regardless. He was honestly third on the list. It was Brogdon, Shamet, Garrison Matthews. So shout out to Malcolm Brogdon. Thank God he retired. Who knows what that guy was going to be, but we don't have to worry about it anyway. He retired. The in-game, in-series adjustments from Mike Brown has shown his true acumen and experience in coaching teams in the playoffs. Switching from Cat offensive hub to relying on Brunson to lead the offense in some serious coaching skill, because that's attentiveness to the game. That's being able to change on the fly. And somebody who coaches on the other side of the court, I guess, can't do that and doesn't seem to have that kind of skill. And, Kenny Atkinson I just thought about game one and really all of these games. I mean, the guy has just been so outcoached in this round. And using Mitchell Robinson to have the Cavs accumulate fouls to get in the bonus was just absolutely brilliant by Mike Brown. I mean, hilarious. They got 3 fouls. You see the Cavs players licking their chops to foul. Dum-Dum didn't realize that they already had 3 fouls, and one more at the 7-minute mark puts the Knicks in the bonus. Blasphemous, I got to be honest. Knicks in this 10-game playoff winning streak. Okay? Ready for this one? Plus 225 point differential, largest in NBA history, regular season or playoffs in any 10-game span. Playoff record when trailing by 20-plus points in the last 2 years. Knicks are 4-3. Every other team, 4-67. 9 wins by 10-plus points. First in wins, 11. First in home playoff wins, 7. First in field goal percentage, 51.4%. First in two-point field goal percentage, 58.8%. Shout out Mikal Bridges. He's one of the big reasons why that percentage is so high. First in three-point field goal percentage, 39.6%. First in plus minus, 18.4 plus, obviously. First in layups made, 175. First in net rating, 18.8. First in rebound percentage, 54.4%. First in defensive rating, 104.8. First in efficient field goal percentage, 59%. First in true shooting percentage, 62.1%. First in player impact estimate, which is really, I guess, a roster stat, 61.1. That's how much their players impact the game in terms of going on runs and winning and losing and point differentials. First in points in the paint, 54.4. First in threes made from the right corner, 2.1 made per game. Ladies and gentlemen, this is easily, I'll just answer the question now. This is easily, I mean, absolutely, it's not hard for us. In our lifetime, me and Dom, this is the best playoff team we've ever watched. I mean, we've only been around since 1999. So obviously, this is the best play. But even if you were born in the 50s and the 60s, I mean, 1973, I'm sure you can argue. I don't know, man. Last time I checked, I don't even know if 1973 had a three-point line. So this team has to be number one, just trouncing everybody. And last stat here, Dom, and then I'll let you speak on all this. 10-0 with an average margin of victory, plus 22.4.
My God.
Absurd. Absurd.
That's absolutely insane. There was just one thing that I was so shocked about. I think you and I both knew that there really wasn't anyone on the team that was able to guard Jalen Brunson,
Mm-hmm.
but I was just so shocked of how wide open just people were throughout these 3 games.
Yes.
OG being wide open sometimes.
10 feet or
Mikal
more.
Bridges being
10 feet.
10 to 14 feet.
Nuts.
10 to 14 feet. They just weren't switching. They just seemed gassed, honestly. After just having the 2 hard series, well, 1 hard series, it seems like they're just done. They can't really recover in just 1 day at a time. But Mikal Bridges being open, Landry Shamet being able to get open easily, with a pick or not. OG, like I said, and Jalen Brunson just being able to do whatever he wants. And, I was thinking Harden was somehow going to do better because he played decent against the Pistons. But no, Mikal Bridges locked him down. Mikal Bridges in game 1, he made Harden go 1 for 9 against him. 1 for 9. Can't make this up.
No.
The defense is just so in check. And then, yeah, I mean, I think this is probably the first time that we felt so confident with Mitch. Because last year, I know we weren't against the Pacers. Definitely not. I mean, even with the Hawks, being down 2-1, we're like, oh no, like this seems like this is their game plan. Really wasn't working out that great, but I know he's not making all of his free throws, but he's making more than he usually does. So he's definitely been practicing his free throws. I don't know how much, but it seems like he has. His defense has been great. His offensive rebounding is still great. Everyone is just so in check, and no matter what, though, it's just going to be so hard, whoever we do play. I mean, I'll tell you right now, we didn't win this yet, but we're going to the finals. Call me early, call me whatever. I don't think I'm jinxing anything here. We're going to the finals, and when we do play either the Spurs or the Thunder, it's just going to be a different beast.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've had a pretty decent, easy ride here going to the finals. And I hate to say it, but this is sort of reminding me of the Yankees in 2024 when they just steamrolled into the AL, and then they finally face a hard team in the Dodgers. This is what it's sort of the vibe that it's giving me, but we're so locked in right now. It doesn't matter who we play. We're gonna give OKC or the Spurs a great series, and thank God they're tied right now because this is either going 6 or 7, which I'm thinking is gonna go to 7 games, and we got to pray that we win tonight just so we can get more of rest,
So,
especially when
Dom,
it comes to OG and being not the greatest
sure.
when it comes
So
to his
I'm
health.
I'm gonna give a little pushback on how easy the road has been. So two things I'll say. First thing I'll say to get out of the way, I hope while the Knicks are not playing on their off day, they're watching the Spurs and the OKC Thunder play because the Spurs are exposing the Thunder right now. From what I'm seeing is just let SGA try to be a hero and score 50. Don't let the ancillary players on that roster score and just let SGA force him to do all the work. And I got to tell you, I watched the game last night. Stephon Castle, what a defender. I mean,
He's
this
very
guy
good.
was locking SGA down badly, and SGA had no shot to do anything. So watch how the Thunder are playing, watch how the Spurs are playing, and watch how the Spurs are defending the Thunder. Listen, everyone's beatable in this world, in any sport. Everyone's beatable. There's not robots on the field, on the court, doesn't matter. Everyone's beatable. And what I want to say about if this was a cakewalk, which I got my notes on giving it back to some non-Knicks accounts on fucking Twitter. Oh, don't you worry. Wait for those notes. They're coming. So stay tuned for that. What I'm going to say about this supposed cakewalk, not really coming at you, Dom. It's about the other people. Dom, let me ask you a question. With all these teams, including this series, any big star hurt in any of the teams in the 3 rounds?
No,
No, not that I can recall. Everyone played. Everyone played. There's the Boston
everyone played.
Celtics. Well, this is kind of like our run in 2024. No, it's not. No, it's not. Heat didn't have Jimmy Butler. Donovan Mitchell didn't play a couple of games. And the Indiana Pacers were nowhere close to what they were last year. This is 2 years ago. And then you played the Dallas Mavericks, and Kyrie Irving was hurt. And Luka had to try to do it all by
And Luca.
himself. And
And
Luka was
Luca was
even
hurt
hurt.
too.
Nobody's hurt
No
on
one's
these
hurt.
teams that the Knicks are playing. Everyone's playing. So just maybe the Knicks are just good. Just
They are
maybe.
good.
Maybe they're good. How about that? I know. You don't want to hear it. I know. I'm sorry. Shut the fuck up. They're just good. That's my answer. Cakewalk my ass. Okay, I got more for you. Don't worry. Go ahead, Dom. I'm about to preach some good stuff on Mikal Bridges. Keep going, but once you're done, I got some notes on Bridges.
Yeah, I mean, I was just hoping, the Thunder would also would be healthy. Jalen Williams is hurt. I mean, when it came to the Spurs, Harper was hurt. He left the game, but then he played last game. He played last night, so he seemed
Mm-hmm.
perfectly okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wemby is he's just another freak of nature that we've never seen before.
He's an alien.
Um,
He's an alien.
literal alien. And this seems like the person who's going to be taking over the league once LeBron is gone. Everyone was like, "Oh, we don't really have a bona fide star right now. The league is in a little bit of trouble." And I don't think so anymore. This is Wemby's league now. Next year, I'm expecting him to win MVP.
Mm-hmm.
This is only the beginning for him. And whatever
Mm-hmm.
the fuck he learned up in the mountains in Asia, it worked. Whatever he did,
Yeah.
walking up rocks, kicking bonsai trees, whatever he did, it worked. This
Mm-hmm.
is the healthiest that he's been. It was unfortunate. I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago where he had a blood clot in his shoulder, and that could have ended his career right there. But thank God he's healthy, and just from a human standpoint, thank God he's healthy and doesn't have to deal with any of those scary blood clots. But also, if you're a basketball fan, it's hard to not like Wemby. You know,
Mhm.
just he's a classy person. He doesn't cause any controversy. He can do everything on the floor. He's a 7'5" point guard, the way that they're using him. And it's
Mhm.
just scary.
Mhm.
It's just scary to watch him pulling up from 40 feet like it's nothing. You
Yeah.
know, there's people out there, they're like, oh, they're not even using him correctly. Whatever the fuck they're doing, it's working. So you don't got to worry about him just being like a post up player. Like, what do you want him to be? Tim Duncan? Like, no. I mean, maybe there's an argument for that, but what?
Well,
Let him be him. Let him
Wemby
be
can
him. You know?
Wemby can post up too. That's the thing. So
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
not really much of a
But
difference. Yeah.
this is going to be an intense game 4. The Cavs don't want to go home,
Mm-mm.
and the Knicks know. They know this is going to be twice as hard as all the games that they've played. And
Mm-hmm.
even Cat said it himself. This is going to be twice as hard, and the last game of the season is going to be twice as hard as this. So everyone seems level-headed. Everyone's just taking it one quarter, one game at a time. No one's looking too far ahead, and no one's really dwelling about the past. I mean, there's not really much to dwell about, but we're locked in, and this is the best I've ever seen a Knicks team
For
in my
sure.
lifetime.
And the way that Cat says it too, the hardest game is the one that ends someone's season.
Yep.
And 100%, he's. I mean, there's no way he's wrong on that one. It's 100% fact. In terms of Mikal Bridges' shooting stats, it says here, read on X in history tab. So I tabbed a bunch of things saved from BetMGM. Mikal Bridges' first 5 playoff games, 7.2 points per game, 43.8 field goal percentage shooting, uh, 26.7 3-point percent shooting, plus minus 11. Mikal Bridges' last 8 playoff games, 19.1 points per game, 69.1 field goal percentage shooting. I mean, that is ridiculous. And 47.6 3-point percentage shooting, plus minus. You want to take a guess? Think high,
30,
real
30,
high. Oh, real high.
50.
No, 144. Because you're adding it up. You're adding up all the games, plus minus from
Oh,
each
yeah,
game out of
yeah.
all 8.
Christ.
Can you imagine that? A
Christ
plus
almighty.
144. Nuts. Mikal Bridges over the last 8 games, right? 19.1 points per game, 4.1 rebounds per game, 2.9 assists per game, 1.6 steals per game, half a block. Like I just said, 69.1 field goal percentage, 47.6 field 3-point shooting percentage, 100% at the free throw line. That's a big one.
Mhm.
And 34.7 minutes per game. Mikal has been huge for New York. That was Hoop Central. Players in NBA history who have shot 60, 40, and 100% in a single postseason, minimum 50 field goal attempts. So that's 60% from the field goals, 40% from 3, 100% from the line. 2025, 26 Mikal Bridges. That's it. That's the list. That's it. And the last thing I'll say, Mikal Bridges' field goal percentage the last 10 games. 75%, 50%, 83.3, 70, 69.2, 57.1, 60, 63.6, 75, 73.3. The only other player in NBA history to shoot at least 50% from the field in 10 straight playoff games while winning all 10 is, of course, yours truly, LeBron James in 2017. Mikal
Legend.
Bridges, right now, if you looked up on Merriam-Webster Dictionary efficiency, you could slap a picture of Mikal Bridges right next to it. Mid-range
We're
assassin.
I don't know. I'm still thinking about those 5 first-round picks we gave up, man. I don't know.
I'm not. I ain't thinking about shit. All I'm thinking about is them winning tonight and him shooting over 70% from the field once again. That's all
Worth
I'm thinking
every
about.
single penny.
Unbelievable. So this was also the video I was talking about with Landry Shamit's defense. Rit Holtzman. I'm locked in on Landry Shamet because Landry Shamet is locked in. And I'm watching this guy switch on Sam Merrill, Donovan Mitchell, and then look, there's a shot clock violation. I mean, it is just unbelievable how that guy's playing. So that's Mikal Bridges. Cat's defense was fantastic in game 3. 3 steals and a block, stayed out of foul trouble, which, of course, Dom, as we all know, is the biggest thing in any series, especially when the Knicks do get to the finals, manifesting it for tonight. Plus 23 in 36 minutes with 7 assists in game 3 for Cat. Fantastic game. One idea I do have for the Knicks in the next game, which is tonight. I don't know how you see this, Dom, but I'm watching his handles. I'm watching him drive to the hoop, the way he's coordinating the offense. I think Mikal should run the offense to really get the Cavs confused and helpless.
It works, especially
Honestly,
with this whole ever since what was it, game 4 against the Hawks, Jalen Brunson being off the ball. It's confusing. It's confusing players. It's confusing defenses. It works.
for how long we've been saying, Dom, off-ball movement, and maybe that is the one thing that they were hiding in the regular season for the playoffs, but giving the ball to Mikal Bridges and letting him run the offense, it can't be a bad idea because this guy's efficiency is insane. He's making all of his mid-range shots, and I don't think it'd be a bad idea if they had him run the offense for a game. I just
I
wouldn't.
mean, this isn't like it's new to him. He did it for a whole year in Brooklyn.
Mhm.
So this isn't anything new. This isn't something out of Mikal's comfort zone. He can do it. And him trying to get down the field and then trying to drive and then or just stop and just pull up for a mid range, can't
Yeah,
stop that.
and look how lanky he is. It's really
Yep.
hard to block his shot. His arms are too long, and he shoots really high up, like over his head, practically. So listen, folks, at the end of the day, Leon Rose isn't stupid. There's a reason why he traded so much to get Mikal Bridges away from Brooklyn. And thank God, because it's just, I don't know. I just feel like any Nets account just shouldn't be speaking on basketball. I mean,
I
that's
agree.
how I see it. Your organization is so non existent and so imaginary at this point. You shouldn't even be partaking in anything basketball related.
Just go to Seattle. Just
Yeah,
go to Seattle,
they'll love you there. No problem.
please.
Take
Or
care.
or, or Nashville. How about Nashville? Nashville,
That'd
that
be
would be
nice.
cool.
That'd
That'd
be
be cool.
nice. I'm with that. Works for me. That'd be great. I got an excuse, even if they suck. I got an excuse to go down there. I enjoyed Nashville a couple of years ago. I'd go back.
Yeah, I'll go back. It
It
was
was
fun.
fantastic. Fantastic
Fun time.
place. Oh yeah.
See?
Yeah. So winning game 4 will give the Knicks a ton of rest with the finals starting on June 3rd. But with that being said, I have some things to say about the non-Knicks fans on X/Twitter.
Let's
Okay.
hear it. I'm ready.
The moving of the goalposts / double standards are the most childish garbage I have ever read on social media. The most childish shit. The Knicks playoff run is a joke. They played against weak teams in a weak conference. The West is going to mutilate them in the finals if they get there. The Knicks could blow it at any point. I can't tell if the Knicks are good or if the conference is weak. Okay. These are the things that I read. The Knicks played the Hawks. That series was deemed a tough draw. Knicks could lose in 6. Hawks were on an 18-2 run near the end of the regular season. Remember? I only said it 5 times in multiple episodes. Jalen Johnson will give the Knicks trouble. Well, Knicks beat them in 6, blew them out in game 6 by 51. What do people say? Well, the Hawks aren't the Sixers. Sixers just beat the Celtics in 7 games, down 3-1. Okay, so the Knicks face the Sixers. People are saying Sixers can beat the Knicks in 6 games. Knicks will have trouble playing VJ Edgecombe, Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, and Joel Embiid, who beat the Celtics himself, by the way, mentioning Joel Embiid. The Knicks then go on to sweep the Sixers, win game 4 by 30, and the Sixers play better without Embiid on the court anyway. People then said, well, Embiid had a bum knee and a bad hip. Tyrese can't defend. VJ is a rookie. Knicks got lucky. They did not play the Celtics. Now this round, the Knicks are steamrolling the Cavs, make a historic comeback, and now they're 1 win away from the finals. People, of course, are saying, well, Harden and Mitchell don't defend. The Pistons would have given them a run for their money. You see the trend, Dom? You seeing the trend?
I
It
do.
is always the prior team that got eliminated. Then why
course.
aren't those teams here to play the Knicks then?
Exactly.
Why aren't they here? Where are they? Dipshit. Where are those
Cancun.
teams?
They ain't Cancun, man.
They're in fucking Mexico. That's where they are. They're not here. If you're so adamant about, well, the Knicks didn't play them, then why didn't they beat that team? So that team beat them, and now the Knicks are beating the team you should have beat. Wow, crazy. Isn't that interesting?
You know, we played Philadelphia and Atlanta and Cleveland. I know Philadelphia has the Eagles, right? What does Cleveland have? Nothing.
They got the Browns, Dom.
They have the Browns. They have nothing. Atlanta, that place is just wild. Do I really need to say more about Atlanta? They have nothing. They're low-key all miserable, and we live in the greatest city in the world. We have it all. We have a great basketball team, obviously. We have a good baseball team when it comes to the Yankees.
Yeah, not the Mets.
You know, the Giants are up and coming. You know, just great organizations in the greatest city in the world. And we have everything. And do you know what they all have? Nothing. They have nothing. We have it all. People from outside New York shit on us. They're all jealous. They're all jealous of us. And you know what? I don't care. I don't care about anyone else. I don't give a fuck. I think we can both say that we're proud New Yorkers, and no matter if we had 0 wins this year in the Knicks or we're going to the finals, we'll always support, and the Knicks fans will travel no matter what.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
honestly, fuck everyone else.
Yeah, the interesting thing
This is our time.
Of course it is. And the interesting thing is too, right? Obviously, the Jets haven't done much, right? They're an organization that's trying to revamp, trying to figure it out. Don't get me wrong, not every organization in New York is fantastic. That is a very hard thing to do when you have so many teams in one state.
Brooklyn.
But yeah. But because New York is New York, people don't like the big state or the big city to do well. A lot of small market organizations, small market teams like when the big markets don't do well. I got news for you. You had your time with the Knicks on them not being good. It's called after 2012, 2013. From 2013, 2014, all the way essentially to like COVID season, you're talking about like 7, 8 seasons. The Knicks were terrible. You had your fun. Don't worry. I read all the messages. You had your fun. But now you're upset because they're doing well. You're a child. You're a petulant person. Petulance means being childish. For people who don't know what that word means. For the uneducated folk, maybe in some other small market areas.
Philly.
But what can I tell you? It is what it is. If you look at the standings, the Knicks were ahead of the Cavs by 1 game. 1. This isn't a joke of around. The Knicks are just really good, and if you don't want to accept that, then that's on you. Because the Knicks had 53 wins, the Cavs had 52. Not like the Knicks had 60 and the Cavs had 48. Okay? It was a difference of 1 game. I guess you could say 2 because the Knicks got the tiebreaker. But 1, 1.5, 2 games? It's not a lot. What are we talking about? And yes, the Knicks can compete for a title against either the Thunder or the Spurs. They are the best defensive team in the playoffs right now and second best team on offense in the playoffs. These Knicks ain't your pre-COVID Knicks. They're not even your pre-Brunson Knicks. These are just the new era Knicks. That's just what they are. And again, if you don't like it, shame on you. I don't know what to tell you. Here's a lollipop. Here's a cookie. here's a cracker, and go figure out what your organization's got to do for your sake, because we don't really care how you feel about the Knicks, to be honest. And I'm just going to leave my rant at that.
Yeah. And one more thing. Let's say we do play the Spurs, right? In the finals, defensively, who has Wemby gone up against that's like nearly close defensively to Mitch? You're not gonna tell me Chet Holmgren. He fucking hates Chet Holmgren. For
I
some
know.
reason, I don't know why, he
No,
hates this man's guts so much, and it's hilarious.
no, he hates him because they used to play when they were younger, and Chet would get the better of him, and he won awards, and Wemby didn't. So Wemby just, hey, listen, I don't like Chet Holmgren either. I don't even like. I used to like SGA and respect him. I don't even respect him that much anymore either. You know, I just that flopper. I mean, he's going to be hitting the ground so many times and licking the floor that they don't even need towel boys to keep the court clean. That's how many times his ass hits the floor, and I see him try to flop for every call possible. And last night, San Antonio, give him credit, they did a fantastic job of taming him, and that man barely got touched by De'Aaron Fox one play and threw himself on the ground. I'm like, dude, you look like a bitch. Get up and play some basketball.
Yep.
It's getting a little out of hand. I got to be honest, I'm getting a little irritated to watch it, and my team's not even playing them yet. It's getting a little annoyed. I pray to the good Lord the Spurs win. I've never been
Me
more of a
too.
Spurs fan than this week.
Yeah,
Never.
me neither.
Never.
Me neither.
So anyway, we're gonna leave it at that. We have a couple of things to say here. Dom, is this the best Knicks playoff team we have ever had? Like, not in our lifetime, just all around in Knicks history. 1973, 1970, 99, 94. This team, would you say this team right now is the best the Knicks have ever had for the playoffs?
100%. Just from the face of how much the game has evolved. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like what you just said back in what, 73, was there even a fucking three-point line? Like we don't even know that answer. So
I'm gonna look it
you
up.
got I mean, even if there was, they still weren't even shooting threes like that. So that's number 1. I mean, you can argue with what, John Starks and Patrick Ewing? Of course you could, but I mean, I
Now,
just I can't compare.
NBA
See,
didn't
no.
implement NBA didn't implement the three-point line. The three-point line was first introduced in professional basketball by the ABL, American Basketball League, in 1961. However, it is most famously known for being adopted by the ABA, American Basketball Association, in 1967, before being officially implemented by the NBA for the 1979-80 season. So no,
See?
they did not.
Exactly. That answers my question right there.
So yeah, I have to agree. This is statistically, visually, this is the best playoff basketball team for the New York Knicks that we've ever seen. I mean, hands down. So good thing answering that. Not really a shocker to either of us, but I wanted to just hear your thought out answer. Last thing I'm going to say before we move on to the next segment. I know we went a bit long here, but shouldn't be a surprise. I mean, me and Dom have never seen. I mean, what? Dom wasn't even born yet, and I was less than a month old when the last time the Knicks got to the NBA Finals. So this is why we've gone so long on this segment. Last thing I'm going to say, Dom, shout out to Mitch Robinson. He is going through some mental health problems. I don't know if you saw, he shut down his social media
Mhm.
accounts. Listen, obviously everyone's behind Mitch. He's a fantastic Knick. He's the longest tenured Knick. Mitch Robinson will be a free agent after these playoffs conclude. I would have no problem paying him what he wants this summer and keeping him here because he is that pivotal and he still has more room to grow. Dom, do you know off the top of your hand how old Mitch Robinson is? I could tell you he did not go to college, and I think he started off with the Knicks very young. Yeah, he's only
He's
28 years
28.
old. He
He's
just
28,
turned
right? Yeah.
28. Yeah, good guess. Wow, look at that. Yeah, just turned 28 April 1st. We just hope he's all right. You know, hopefully he can get himself right for tonight's game and hopefully the NBA Finals because we will be needing him for the Knicks to win it all. As Dom has said since preseason, it's gonna require everybody. You're going to need everyone. And we have not seen that more now than ever in every single round, especially when the Knicks were down 2-1 to the damn Hawks. But again, shout out to Mitch Rob. Fantastic guy, honestly hilarious. He was mic'd up for one of the recent games. And you don't know what the man's going through. Not everyone's got to disclose everything that goes on in their lives. They have every right to keep things personal. And so shout out to Mitch. Hopefully he's feeling better with the accumulation of wins that the Knicks are doing. And I'm sure he's going to feel a little better when they win tonight and they sweep the Cavs, because that's what we're all expecting with how well the Knicks are playing. And I don't think Jalen Brunson, or really any of these players, Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, Cat Bridges, is going to let the Knicks lose a game and have a gentleman's sweep. If they can win tonight and get them rest, and knock on wood, of course, we definitely don't want to see it now more than ever, avoid injury, please do it, get it done, and just watch the Thunder and Spurs just attack each other for 7 games, no problem.
No, that's the plan. We got to win tonight. As much rest days as we can. Let's get it done tonight.
Yeah, they win tonight, 9 days off. It's
Perfect.
official. NBA Finals does not start until June 3rd. That is next Wednesday. Not this
Let's do it.
Wednesday, next Wednesday. So
Let's do it.
that's how we're going to conclude the NBA segment. Now moving on to the MLB. Dom, you go first with your Yanks. Aaron Judge, walk-off homer. Is he starting to break out maybe?
Oh, we can only pray, right? A man can only hope. You know, we lost to the Jays, played 500 baseball. We also lost to the Rays, and it's just the bats are just completely dead. And from what it seems like, right? If Aaron Judge doesn't do good, this team doesn't do good.
No.
I mean, yeah, we ran it back, right? Yeah, we're confidence in all of our guys, and didn't even peep, not even really signed anyone. And Cashman's like, you know what? This is okay. I have 100% faith in our squad that we can do this. Now it's almost June, Memorial Day weekend. Our bullpen is god awful. It's fake. We have like a pretend wannabe bullpen. That's number one. The bottom of our order is horrible. And then when we do have our good players playing and they're slumping, no one else is doing shit. Not one person. So Cam Schlittler, right, gave up 2 earned runs when he pitched. Rodon gave up 1 earned run when he pitched. Cole gave up 0 earned runs. And even Ryan Weathers gave up 0 earned runs. And you're still splitting? And you're still splitting a series? 2 series? That shouldn't be the case at all with any team. The bats are 100% dead. Austin Wells, you hit a home run this past week. I don't care. No one cares. You should not be on this team. And one thing that caught my attention, which I saw a video of the other day, Aaron Boone was talking about our minor league catcher who's been up and down this year, J.C. Escara. In spring training, he was talking about him like he was fucking Pudge Rodriguez. What happened to him? If he's so good, why isn't he playing? Why isn't Austin Wells down in fucking AAA or even AA at this point? He must not be that good. And then with Garrett Cole coming back, right? Then you send down Giovanni Cruz, who pitched great in his first outing, but I guess that wasn't good enough. And then way to deteriorize someone's confidence by also sending Spencer Jones down. I thought we were giving people time. Clearly not. Oh, I'm not defending Spencer Jones when it comes to his performance when he was up here. He did not do good at all. I'll tell you that much. But like I said, so did Aaron Judge. He did nothing when he first came up either.
Carson Bench hasn't looked good.
And Carson Bench. You've done nothing. They have done nothing since they came up here, but you decided to give Aaron Judge a chance. They're the same fucking height, and Spencer Jones literally has his same batting stance that Aaron Judge had when he came up here. If you just change his swing and do everything that Aaron Judge has done to fix his swing and everything, he could be the next Aaron Judge. You never know. I mean, crazy potential, crazy take, whatever. But the potential is crazy, and what this helps with nothing by sending him down there again. I know it's for Garrett Cole. I know, right? I mean, and speaking of Garrett Cole, right? He pitched great.
Mm-hmm.
He pitched very good in his debut. 6
Mm-hmm.
scoreless innings, 2 hits, 3 walks, and 2 Ks. I mean, obviously, it's not the same strikeout numbers that we're used to, but this is his first game back. It looked like a slow start in the first when he gave up a single to Chandler Simpson and walked Caminero. But the next batter he faced, he picked off Chandler Simpson, who was just an alien when it comes to baseball. Great contact hitter, and he's probably, if not, the fastest player in all of baseball, and he can steal bases like it's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So, power to him. Thank God that he got out of that first inning with no trouble at all. Cole gave up no runs, and then in the 4th inning, our bullpen decided to give up 4 runs in the 8th inning, which made us lose 4-2. Our bullpen is just so awful. It's just so terrible. And I had concerns about it coming into this year, and they shut me up in the beginning of the season. But now look what happened. Duvall is going back to his old ways of when he first joined the team last year. Bednar is just, like I said, he's just burnt out. We can't just have them two. And then when it comes to Fernando Cruz, I don't know why we don't play him more. He should be the one that's the real anchor of this team. And if we have to pitch him more than 1 inning, so be it. He's getting us results. He's pitching good. It seems like he's like one of the only ones that's pitching decent in this bullpen. And Bednar just needs rest. But at the end of the day, it doesn't seem like we have time for rest because we're not even hitting either. We're not even helping our pitching staff right now.
Right.
So, you know what? It's all up in the air right now. But we'll see. But I mean, even though Garrett Cole, he had a couple of 4-pitch walks, but then other than that, he really had good control of his strike zone. And in the 3rd inning, he only threw 7 pitches, and in the 4th inning, he only threw 4 pitches.
That's
So
amazing.
I know, and I wasn't really expecting this electric of a start in his first game back. I mean, look what the fuck happened to Rodon when he first came back, and especially with Cole having Tommy John surgery. But I was very happy and pleased, and if I had to predict the first 3 for a playoff series for the Yankees, I think Cole would be 3rd. By the way this season's going, I would put Cam Schlittler number 1.
Who's 2?
I'd put Max Fried. I'd put Max Fried number 2.
Wow. My
And then I'd
God.
put Cole 3rd.
Yeah.
And for someone who's getting paid, who literally has the same contract as the Angels Stadium, the fact that he's going to be the 3rd pitcher in the rotation, but I mean, that's not a bad idea. I wouldn't mind that at all. I mean, I would love to have Cam Schlittler pitch as much as he could, of course. And then Max Fried, he was having a great year until he got hurt, but he'll be fine. I mean, he'll be out for maybe another month or so, but when he comes back, he'll be perfectly okay. So, I mean, let's hope that we can get a good placement in this regular season, then we'll see how that works. But that's really not a bad idea. And then when it comes to Aaron Judge, he finally broke out of an 0 for 15 slump, got on base with a single, but then for some reason makes a crazy decision to not go back to first base. He was caught sleeping with a liner from Ben Rice going directly to the right fielder. Didn't have to move. And Aaron Judge was basically at second already. Don't know how that happened. But he guess he just got caught sleeping. He just wandered way too far. But then he makes it up for it with walk-off 2-run home run in the 9th inning. We got to hope that this is something. And one more thing. I mean, one thing before I start with whatever I was going to say in my notes. I saw people on X saying, I wish that was a single. I wish that was just like some contact hitting. I wish that was like a nice line drive single or a double. What the fuck is wrong with you?
What does that mean? I don't even understand what that means.
Because now he hits this home run and now he thinks that he's just going to be swinging for the fences now because he hit a home run after breaking an 0 for 15 slump. What
This
is
is
wrong with you?
this is dumb. This is what I
What?
mean. Like,
You can't win with these fucking people.
no,
You can't
no,
in
you
any
can't.
fan base. Not even
And
just the
honestly,
Yankees or Mets or Knicks. You can't win.
and
You
that's
can't you
not
can't
good
just be
for the
fucking happy.
Yankees. That's not good for like you and the Yankees fan base. Like, you don't need people like that in your fan base.
No.
Like, it's not a good look. I mean, what in the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, it's like,
I don't know.
like, it does nothing, like, because we know that he hits home runs, but we wanna see him hit for contact. Do you wanna win the fucking game or not? I
No,
mean,
they
like,
don't.
I mean,
No, no, they'd rather see
they
Aaron Judge do what they want instead of doing what the team needs. That's what it says to me. I don't know.
make it fucking make sense.
I can't. I have no idea.
Yeah, I can't either.
I don't know.
But anyway, when it comes to the other pitching performances, like I mentioned, Carlos Rodon, he looked good against the Blue Jays, which a little shocked, but only
Mhm,
threw for 5 innings, but maybe I guess they're trying to keep his pitch count a little low for now for until later on in the season. 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, and 7 Ks. Pretty solid, you know? Shut me up a little bit, I'll take it. But I mean, just for me, which I've said in the past, these past few episodes, just when it comes to his command and his stuff, he can get wild at times, and sometimes his breaking balls, his off-speed pitch are just not there, and they're just lollipops. So I'm still nervous when it comes to him, but I just hope he prove me wrong, man. I really do. And then even Ryan Weathers, second straight quality start, which is seems rare for him ever since he came to the Yankees. I don't know how it was when he was with the Marlins, but I mean, 2 consecutive good starts, I'll take it. 7 innings pitched, no earned runs, 4 hits, 3 walks, 4 Ks. We just gotta hope, when we played against 2 great teams in the Blue Jays and the Rays, and the way that we've been playing, and that we're splitting the series, I'll take it. I'll no problem with me. I mean, if we were playing better, I would expect more, but clearly not. But we just gotta hope this pitching staff comes around, and the bullpen, you better wake up, and I'm still hoping for a move at the trade deadline.
mhm. Yeah, I'm still reeling over that comment on Aaron Judge. The Yankees, they just I still think that they're a team that can figure it out in terms of whatever is just not working for them. Rodon, I don't want you to relay Rodon to Garrett Cole ever again. I mean that's just that Rodon and Garrett Cole just not the same people. I mean, I know you said like, oh yeah, well, Rodon's first start and Garrett Cole's first start. I was shocked that Garrett Cole did well, but Carlos Rodon, he didn't do well. There shouldn't be. I
Well,
wouldn't
just
be.
when it came to injuries, like Garrett Cole came off Tommy John.
Yeah, but it's not a surprise. Like Garrett Cole is a professional. He's very good at pitching. Rodon is just not a good pitcher. I will always believe that Rodon got overpaid with the
He definitely
Yankees. Yeah, I
100%.
mean, I'll always see it that way, but it's not it doesn't matter what injury Rodon, even if he didn't have injuries, it doesn't matter what injury Rodon ever had. I never thought he was gonna come back and look good in any start. Garrett Cole, I could see it because he's just that good, and honestly, he's so experienced and a true professional, so doesn't really surprise me, but, like, Rodon does not deserve to be in a playoff rotation. Of course, Garrett Cole does, but yeah, Garrett Cole, Rodon, big differences between those 2. In terms of now the Mets, listen, I'm gonna keep this short. Not a lot to say at this point. The Mets are the Mets. They're trash. They're not good. The first thing I'll say off the top, and Dom wanted me to say it when I said it to him over the phone before we aired this episode. I have not been this mentally checked out of a Mets team and a Mets season since me and Dom's freshman year of college at U Tampa. Folks, that's 8 years ago. I have never been that mentally checked out with the Mets. 2018. This team is not going to pull what they pulled 2 years ago. Now was around the time where you had the Jorge Lopez throwing the glove in the stands. The Mets were under 500 by 11 games. They were approaching June 1st. Then they started to make a comeback. I do not see the Mets doing that whatsoever. Not this year. Not a chance.
I don't
I
either.
will I do not see the Mets doing that in the slightest. So with that being said, I really think the Mets should look to call up any young prospect that they can. Ryan Clifford, come on up, pal. He's hitting a 763 OPS. He just hit 2 homers, 1 in each doubleheader game yesterday. He's got 31 RBIs, 4 stolen bases, double-digit homers. Yes, he's only hitting 226, but let's be real. We got Mets players who can't hit water if they fell out of a boat. So we might as well have Ryan Clifford come and give a shot at first base. It is literally time to bring the whole any possible youth that is doing even somewhat good should be getting the call up here because this team is just dreadful. And when Juan Soto got scratched from the game yesterday on Sunday because of the flu, I was like, well, Mets are getting swept. Didn't care that it was 0-0 going to the bottom of the ninth. The Mets were away. They have not played the Marlins well the last few years. Couldn't tell you why, but I knew it was going to be a sweep. I knew it. So, with all that being said, Mets go 2-5 on the week, split series in Washington, which I did predict. But I predicted them take 2 out of 3 from Miami. They didn't even win a game. Got swept in Miami by the Marlins. Mets started off the road trip strong with a 16-7 win over the Nats, but Nolan McLean had a blow-up game, the first in his short Mets career so far. Mets lost 9-6 to the Nats. It needs to happen with every pitcher. It's happened to Paul Skeens, i.e. opening day this year. Nolan McLean, it's happened this year. Jacob deGrom, it happened to him in Texas against the Rangers years ago. And look how that turned out for him with his career. Everyone needs to have it. I was fine with it. Mets went on to split the series, losing 8-4 in game 3, and then winning the last one 2-1 with Devin Williams closing the door. When I was watching that out, to dinner with one of my town friends before the Knicks 8:00 game 2 game. Marlins sweep the Mets. Mets score 2 runs and have 11 hits in 3 games. Just going to pause for a second. Think about that. And now continue. Pitching was solid, but this offense has absolutely no consistency. And with Juan Soto out with the flu last game, there was no chance the Mets were going to muster up a couple runs. He literally drove in the only run on Friday. He drove in 2 more runs on Saturday and didn't play yesterday. So, with that all being said, i.e., ipso facto, potato, potato, tomato, tomato, the Mets get swept 3-0 in Miami. The bullpen game on Friday of Tobias Myers, Sean Manaea, and Jonah Tong only gave up 2 runs and 5 hits. Of course, it resulted in a loss, but nice for Sean Manaea to have a bit of a bounce back outing. Saturday's game, Freddie Peralta went 7 innings, gave up 4 runs. He has been an absolute disappointment. I know I said David Peterson. I think at this point I'll have to add Freddie Peralta to that list. What a fucking disappointment this guy's been. And to think Mets fans, honestly, I'm pretty sure even including myself, we're going to give him a contract extension before the season started. Thank God nobody listened to my ass, even with David Stearns doing a god-awful job running this team and the roster. Good thing they didn't do that. That's maybe one of the only things David Stearns did well this year so far, is not giving Freddie Peralta a contract extension. Peralta has a 5.14 ERA, so much so that he should be on the trading block, and it's crazy to think we were prepared to give him a contract extension. I don't know what the Mets would get for this guy. I would still put him out there to get some feelers out and see what teams would give the Mets in a package. But this guy has just been absolutely dreadful. I mean, more than half the time he goes 5 innings, gets 2 outs to start the inning, and then gives up so many hits, walks, and runs that he has to get pulled, and then he's got to hope that the bullpen can rescue him, which more than half the time, as we know, with how bad the Mets are, they never rescued him. Sunday's game, Christian Scott went 5 2/3 innings, gave up no runs and only 4 hits. And then, of course, as Yankee fans know so well, Devin Williams gave up the game with a game-winning grand slam to, get ready for this name, Dom, Heriberto Hernandez. Who is he? Don't know him.
Don't know.
Couldn't tell you. Never heard of the guy. But he got a grand slam off Devin Williams. Fantastic. Mets leave Miami with no wins. Mets are not a winning ball club, and David Stearns has everything to do with this current roster. Carlos Mendoza can only do so much with what he has, but he is inevitably to blame with this inconsistent play. As I already said at the start of this segment, or the start of this rant, I should really say, I personally want them to keep losing, because even if they make the playoffs miraculously, they'll be bounced in the wild card series and probably won't even win a game. They'll probably lose 2-0. You have a ton of trade pieces, so I would try to get some good, robust prospects into the farm system and start calling up more players from the minors, just like I talked about with Ryan Clifford. This team is going absolutely nowhere this season, and I'm glad they're keeping Jonah Tong up here, and now have called up Jonathan Pintaro, who should also stay here as a bullpen option. Maybe even call up Dylan Ross, who right now has a 2.77 ERA in the minors. You got nothing to lose at this point. Only 2 guys who need more development and have to play better in the minors is Jacob Reimer and Jonathan Santucci. But other than that, I would call up any young guy you can and make this a young prospect season. And with all that being said, Dom, I'm done. Anything else you got to say regarding the Yankees or just baseball in general?
You know, I don't think we're close, honestly. I know we're second in the AL East. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we're only a couple of games back. The Rays are rolling right now. I know we did beat them, but I'm still not impressed about how these 2 series went. And especially after with Aaron Judge going over 15, then he finally broke it. We got to see what he does now with these next upcoming series. Then the bullpen has just been atrocious. And then even with Cam Schiller, when he was pitching, we didn't even get run support for him. So
Mm-hmm.
the bats need to stay alive. And as of right now, I'm not ready to say that we're back yet.
Okay. I think the Yankees still have a good opportunity. They have a window. Beating the Rays this past weekend was big. The budget raise is what everyone's putting out there. The New York Post wrote that in their articles in the newspaper, as I saw. I've seen it online in online articles. But yeah, the Yankees still have a good opportunity to win the AL East. I would still pick them to, be very close. I mean, would they win the division? Would I pick them to win the AL East? Kind of tough, but they're definitely a wild card team, but it wouldn't surprise me if they won the AL East now. All right, so that's everything with the MLB. NFL is going to be short. Dom, do you have anything to say regarding the Giants right now?
What I've been saying all offseason when it comes to the Giants, our best offseason pickup was John Harbaugh. Not one player, not any draft players, John Harbaugh. And it already seems like he's impacting this team a lot. Just when it comes to practice, everything seems so much different. Um, I don't see them having fun, right? Like Joe Judge hosing guys down like they're 5 years old in a playground. Um, fucking Brian Dayball, his fat ass fucking dancing to Biggie. Like, bro, no one cares. Like, no one cares about trying to have fun and to, make a good, I don't know, fun vibe. You're there to work, right? That's why you're getting paid millions of dollars. You're not even playing any music when it comes to John Harbaugh. It's strictly football noise. That's what he says. I love football noise, right? And it just seems like that these players respect Harbaugh more than these past 2 coaches. Joe Judge he never had a head coaching job. Same with Dayball. And Joe Judge was a special teams coordinator. And it seems like that those past 2 guys got jobs was because of Bill Belichick and Nick Saban. It's the only reason why. I mean, we'll see what Brian Daboll does when it comes to the Titans this year. Meanwhile, basically just called the Tennessee Giants because he picked up everyone that was a free agent. But
Yeah, yeah.
but it's okay. And everyone just seems way more confident. And even the defense, not even talk about John Harbaugh, also the defense. Denard Wilson, he came out and said, "I'm not here to be your fucking friend. I'll be friends with you afterwards, but I'm here to get you better."
Hmm.
And then Kayvon Thibodeau said that this defense looks more like Wink Martindale's defense. And if you're a Giants fan, you know what that means. A lot of press
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of blitzing.
A lot of blitzing.
And and we're made for it. Especially now that we have Alvar Reese,
Mm-hmm.
we have Kayvon, we have Abdul, we have Brian Burns. That's obvious, right? But then also, which I'm praying for and that every Giant fan is praying for, that Deontay Banks gets back to the cornerback that he was, because everyone knew, and that's why the Giants drafted him, was because he was a press corner.
Mm-hmm.
And in
Right.
his first year, he played great. And then these past 2 seasons, he's played god awful, and he has no idea what he's doing playing zone.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have him, and now you have Hoodie Season, who is also another press corner, who we just got out of Tennessee. So this defense should help. But then also, I read an article today. Shout out to Patricia Traina, who is an incredible Giants analyst, and she has a fairly new podcast, which I encourage everyone to listen to, and she's great. And she was asking about how these OTAs have been and how practices have been under new head coach John Harbaugh, and a lot of good things. Javon Holland, safety. He said his demeanor and how he kind of cultivates the group. His message was very direct. You can tell that he has a plan for how he introduces things day in and day out, and it's very streamlined. So it's nice. Seemed like last year they weren't used to that, based off that comment. Brian Dable, he seemed like he was all over the place when it came to what he wanted in his practices. Just off that one comment alone, right? And then Andrew Thomas, he's very excited. Obviously, his reputation speaks for itself. A true ball coach. So I was excited to see he's going to come here and hopefully get things going in the right direction. And then he was talking more about him, saying, I would say first it's just empowering us as players. Like a lot of our team meetings aren't just about football in general. It's just about life. And we talk about principles and just how you approach every day as a man. I think that reflects the character of the team when we take that as a priority. Those life lessons might sound like nothing, but they're important in terms of supporting players to handle success and failure equally well.
Hmm.
There's just a whole different demeanor in that building, way more respect. Players are going to listen to someone with that type of resume that John Harbaugh has. And we're just setting a different tone, something that's just not nonchalant or just fake aggressive. They're putting in the work, and I'm not going to get into the whole training camp hasn't started yet. And no matter how good I'm hearing these reports, I'm not going to believe anything until Sunday Night Football against the Cowboys. But
Mm-hmm.
just everything just seems so much more mature. I think that's the best way to put it. Everything just seems more mature in the Giants facility, and that could only mean good things
Well, you knew that was going to be the case when you hired John Harbaugh.
for sure. But just the fact of how bad it's been when with Dayball and Joe Judge is just it's disgusting of how that's how it should have been all along.
Of course. I mean, I could tell you for the Jets, immaturity has definitely run rampant in that organization as well. I mean, Aaron Glenn, I do believe he's a mature coach. He's a fiery coach. I mean, he's a former player of the Jets, and any former players are still going to have that fire within them. But yeah, there has to be a level of maturity from someone on the coaching staff. When it comes to, I know we already talked about the Knicks, but when it comes to the Knicks, it's everybody on that coaching staff. Chris Gent, Rick Brunson, Mike Brown, his whole entire coaching staff, Mo Cheeks, everybody. When it comes to, I mean, yes, okay, the Mets seem to be at a loss for words on what kind of, culture they have right now. But I do still think Carlos Mendoza is a mature manager. There is some maturity. Their bench coaches are mature, but maturity when it comes to not only your coaching staff but your players, and if not enforcing it on them, is step number one to being anywhere successful. For any upcoming season. In regards to the Jets, not much I have to say. OTAs for them will be in three phases: May 27th to 29th, which is coming up this week, starting Wednesday, June 1st and 2nd, June 4th, and then June 8th to the 11th. So it's going to be, you know, interesting is the right word for sure. I mean, exciting, I guess. I mean, you can't take a lot out of OTAs, but it's nice to see a little bit of football movement and what these guys could potentially look like, going forward for mandatory mini camp and training camp and preseason. So it's good to kind of get, your sea legs under you and start getting an idea of who's going to be there going forward and who's going to be taking it seriously and who's not, and who's going to be, like Dom said, mature and who isn't. Jets have not signed a veteran QB yet. They want to see their draft selection, Cade Klubnik, see what he can do in camp. So that's interesting. I heard he had a good rookie minicamp, but you're going up against undrafted players. So I don't know how much you could take out of that. Last thing I'll say, veterans who could be in trouble are safety Andre Sisco. He was god awful last year. Kind of like what I said about Jamie and Sherwood when he played. I think I had a better time having fun when if I decided to go play in traffic on the Cross Island. Defensive tackle Mozzie Smith, edge rusher Braden McGregor, and wide receiver Arian Smith. I mean, it's not a surprise. Arian Smith does have to have a pretty darn good training camp. OTAs, mini camp, training camp, all of it. He cannot drop really any passes now that they brought in Omar Cooper Jr., Kenyon Sadiq. So Arian Smith is going to be watched real closely. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't have room for him. And even if he does make it, he's all the way down on the depth chart, because right now, how you're looking at it for wide receivers, or even, I guess, offensive weapons, you could say, Garrett Wilson, Adonai Mitchell, Kenyon Sadiq, Omar Cooper Jr. Those are really your top guys right now. Other tight ends that you have, obviously, Jeremy Ruckert, Mason Taylor. But those are the top four: Garrett Wilson, Kenyon Sadiq, Adonai Mitchell, Omar Cooper Jr. But those are the guys who are in trouble of not making the team. I know we didn't talk about it last week, but Breece Hall did speak to reporters and said, "Hey, I think I'm going to have my best year yet. They're putting me in a much better situation this year." Yeah, it does help that your offensive line looks strong on paper. They brought in a veteran guy like Geno Smith. That's great and all. But at the end of the day, it is much reliant on the offensive coordinator and Frank Reich and what he's going to put together. So I hope Breece Hall has a great season. We'd love to see it. But don't count your chickens before they hatch, especially with this fucking organization, because you don't know what you're getting. You could be hype as anything. You could have prime Tom Brady, Brett Favre, Joe Montana. It doesn't matter who you got. Ben Roethlisberger, you could still shit the bed. So just take it day by day at this point and see where you're at come preseason in week one, which they're playing good old friend Robert Saleh week one against the Titans. Of course, NFL had to make the schedule like that. No shocker there. But that's everything I got to say for that. Dom, do you have anything else to say regarding the Giants or football in general before I move on here?
I mean, it would be cool to see Odell Beckham back, but I'm not like, we need him. It's like, I mean, it would be nice to, have someone else, like a veteran leadership in the locker room. And we know that OBJ is nowhere near what he used to be,
Mm-hmm.
especially after all those injuries that he's suffered. It would be nice, but I'm not gonna cry about it if he's not on this team.
Uh-huh.
And I'll leave it at that.
I do have one question for you, and we'll try to keep it rapid fire here. Malik Nabers, second surgery. Where do you see this guy this season? Do you think he's still going to be impactful? When do you think he's going to be geared up, ready to go to come back? Because I was listening to Get Up this morning before I went off to do a few hours of work today, and listening to SNY they're a bit uncertain on what he's going to be this upcoming season. What is your confidence level right now out of 10, 1 to 10 on Malik Nabers' season this upcoming year?
So the surgery, it was about getting rid of loose bodies in his knee,
Okay.
and so that's a good thing.
Mhm.
This isn't like oh, the surgery's so, like, fucked up, like, it was a failure, right? And we had to, like, repair it again. Like,
Mhm.
no, that wasn't the case. It was just
Okay.
getting rid of loose bodies, and so that's perfectly okay, and that'll make him better.
Mhm.
Um, I know you have and they didn't even report it. It didn't come out till weeks later that this happened, so they kept it
Right.
under wraps.
Right.
Probably because people would think that they knew that everyone was gonna flip out over it.
Mhm.
So and it still seems like that he's, on time with his recovery. He probably will be on the PUP list, which I already expected,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back, like, mid-October, early November,
Mhm.
but when he comes back, he should be ready to go.
Okay.
So, I'm not that much worried about him, but for some reason, I feel like people are expecting him to come back week 1, and I don't think that's gonna happen at all,
Absolutely not.
especially after this 2nd surgery.
No.
So, everyone needs to get that out of their fucking heads right now.
Mhm.
Um, so he'll be fine when he comes back, but I just don't think it'll be in September.
So confidence level out of 10, what number?
I'd say 8.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. Just wanted to get your answer on that one question. Now we move on to take a seat. Let's predict. Well, here it is tonight, 8 p.m. Will this season end for the Cavs tonight? And will the Knicks move on to the finals? Game 4 at Rocket Arena, 8 p.m. tonight. Then, if that doesn't happen, it would be game 5 Wednesday at MSG. Game 6 is Friday at Rocket Arena if necessary. Same thing with game 7, but that'll be at MSG. That's on Sunday. All games are at 8 p.m. Dom, do the Knicks move on tonight to the NBA Finals?
They won't the only reason why they won't is if
Mm,
fucking James Harden turns into Steph Curry, and that's not gonna happen. So we are
mm,
gonna win tonight. And if Jared
okay.
Allen turns into Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That's the only way
Okay.
that's gonna happen. So we're winning
Interesting.
tonight.
You really led me there to think you were saying no. Good work.
I know.
Okay. Yeah.
You're welcome.
That's good. For me, it's an absolute yes to me, and the big prime reason, actually, two prime reasons. The first one, I just don't see Jalen Brunson letting it happen. Jalen Brunson is a big reason why, of course, the Knicks came back in game 1. I just don't see JB letting the Knicks lose a game, especially in this series, just to have it go back to New York. And second reason, I just simply think the Cavs just don't have enough answers for the starting five of the Knicks, and even guys like Landry Shamet and Deuce McBride and Mitchell Robinson. So those are the two big reasons why the Knicks do not care that the game is at Rocket Arena in Cleveland. They showed like some watch party in Cleveland. I'm not gonna lie. It looked like somebody went there to have lunch at Sweet Green over on the complex. There was absolutely no one there, and so I do expect the Knicks to close it out tonight because of the two big reasons. Jalen Brunson not letting it happen, just his demeanor and how confident he is in getting it done. And secondly, the Cavs just don't have an answer for the amount of weapons that the Knicks have on defense and offense. So I'm going to say they move on as well. So me and Don both agree the Knicks will move on to the NBA Finals tonight after their convincing Game 4 win in Cleveland. Now moving on to the Yankees. Yankees play 3 games at Royals in Kansas City, and then 3 games at A's in Sacramento. Dom, what do you got for the Yankees record on the week?
I'm gonna say 4-2. We're gonna win 2 games against the Royals and 2 games against the Athletics. And for some reason, there's always one game against the Athletics where we play like absolute dog shit. So that's gonna happen. And then also with the Royals, I mean their bats have been getting better throughout the year, especially when it comes to Vinny Pasquantino, who has
Mhm.
been god awful at the beginning of the year, but he's slowly starting to hit again. And then you can't forget about Bobby Wood Jr. and Salvi. So they'll try and make some noise in this series, but I'm gonna say we'll be 2-1 against the Royals, and then 2-1 against the Athletics, so 4-2 on the week.
4-2 on the week. Okay. So the Mets, they're playing the Reds at home starting actually in a half an hour. They play at 4:10. They start with the Reds this week, 3 games at home, and then the Marlins come to town for 3 games. I'm just wrapping up looking at the pitching matchups for Marlins at Mets. So I'm going to say the Mets only win 1 game. That would be today because Nolan McLean is pitching today. I think he bounces back in a big way. Think the Mets win this game, and they're going up against a pitcher who has a 7.1 ERA. I mean, if you can't beat this guy, I mean, you really should just retire for the rest of the season. I'm gonna say they win today, and then they lose the next 2. I have no faith in David Peterson. I think the other game is a bullpen game. So I'm gonna say they go 1-2 against the Reds, and then the Marlins come into town. I mean, the Marlins just swept the Mets. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm going to expect the Marlins to win 2 out of 3, and Nolan McLean pitches this upcoming Sunday. So I'm going to say the Mets go 2. What is that, Dom? 2-4? Yeah, that's 2-4.
2-4.
So Mets go 2-4, win today, but lose the next 2 to the Reds, and then lose the first 2 to the Marlins. So technically, win today, 4-game losing streak, and then win on Sunday to break that losing streak. So 2-4. So Dom, for your Yankees, what is the record you go with again?
4-2.
4-2, and I just flip it and go 2-4 for the Mets. All right, Dom, episode wrap up. Anything else you have to say before I wrap up today's episode?
I'm expecting a big game from Cat. He didn't obviously he was very well last game, but only scored 14 points, but he was effective in every other aspect of basketball. But it just seems like I don't know, they're gonna just try really hard to stop Brunson, and the next man up will be Cat. So he's gonna have a big game, and it doesn't seem like Jared Allen can really do much to stop him either.
Mhm.
Even though I thought before the series that it was gonna be way more competitive between them two, doesn't seem like it. So Cat is gonna have a big game tonight.
Those lights are too bright, Dom.
Yep, correct. He even said it himself.
Oh yeah. I don't know if it's just me, but these lights are bright. Yes, they are. Too bright for you.
Yep.
Um, anything else you want to say regarding the Yankees and the Giants, or are you just keeping it strictly Knicks, which is okay.
Strictly Knicks. Let's go Knicks, baby.
I'm right with you. I'm actually glad you said that about who you picked to be the most impactful tonight. Mine, I'm gonna go with OG Anunoby, and it's because he finally looked like himself post
He
hamstring
did.
strain the other night on Saturday. 21 points. He just really was shooting like himself, playing defense like himself, and I think he is going to come out with a vengeance and really show, why he was second team All NBA, which we didn't even talk about. What an absolute snub! You're going to tell me Derek fucking White
Derek
is
White.
first team All Defense and OG is second team? Really? Shout out to Mike Brown for defending his player, by the way. He made it clear before the press conference ended. He was like, my guy got snubbed. Respect to all the guys who made it. But OG is so impactful on our team. He should have been first team. And I adamantly agree with him. But I do pick OG Anunoby as the impactful player for tonight after coming off a strong performance on Saturday and looking like himself post hamstring strain.
I agree. I That was ridiculous. They're never gonna give him the love for some reason. I
I don't
mean,
know why.
he could have been first team last year too.
I agree.
So I I don't know why they don't like him that much. I guess maybe because he is not like the greatest offensive player ever. Like I don't get it. I really don't. Even though it has to be a defensive award, can't tell you. I was even looking at stats from other players who got snubbed. Even Scotty Barnes could have been number one. The way
Yep.
that he was locking up players this year.
Hmm.
So there was a good amount of snubs on this all team list. So
Hmm.
it just sucks. But OG
Yeah.
definitely should have been there.
For sure. And shout out to Jalen Brunson. He made first team All NBA. I'm sorry, second team.
Second.
Should have made first team over Cade. I know Cade Cunningham was on a 60-win team, but sorry, stats are the stats. I just think Jalen
Yep.
Brunson's a better player, but we'll take second team All NBA. And Chad Holmgren over Cat for third team All NBA. don't get that one. If you look up the stats side by side, Cat clears them. So don't really get where that happens. But listen, unfortunately, we know that voting in certain sports is quite rigged and stupid. But again, just to finish off, Dom's impactful player for tonight's Knicks game is Cat, and mine is OG Anunoby, and hopefully the Knicks win Game 4 tonight and sweep the Cavs and move on to the NBA Finals and get some rest, which would be 9 days, and just watch the Spurs and OKC just go toe-to-toe and just kill each other in this Western Conference series. Dom, anything else, dude?
Oh, good, man.
Well, that's going to do it for us today. Thank you to everyone for tuning into today's episode of the FTB podcast on either YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Be sure to like this episode and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss any of our shows. See you folks on Tuesday. Peace.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it.